All right, so on Tuesday, we talked about long division, dividing polynomials, okay? Today, we're going to learn a new method, but first, I want to refresh with long division, okay? Looking at those two polynomials, which one's going to go on the inside of the division box? That first one, right? Yep. So we have 2x cubed minus 7x squared. What do I need to do? Like, is it missing anything?
No.
In standard form. So we have an x cubed, we have an x squared. What should be here? We should have an x, right? So remember, we have to put a placeholder in for that x. So we have to put plus 0x, and then we can put minus 4. Okay. What are we dividing by? X minus 3. Okay, so you have to watch out for those placeholders that we need in standard form. Okay. Now, looking at this problem here, let's review long division. In long division, I want to ask myself, how can I turn x into 2x cubed? What do I need?
2x squared.
I need a 2 and I need an x squared. What do I do from here?
2 times 3.
Close. I'm going to take 2x squared times x first. Multiply by both. What do we get? 2x cubed. And then 2x squared times negative 3. Negative 6x squared. What is my next step? I'm going to subtract. With that subtraction symbol, I want to go through and change all the signs that I have. What happens to those first two terms? The 2x cubed. Cancel. What's negative 7 plus 6? Negative 1x squared. Good. What do I do next? Bless you. Bring down 0x. Now we start the process over again. How can I turn x into negative x squared? What am I missing?
Multiply by x squared.
Not just an x, right? But what else do I need? I need that negative, so I'm going to multiply by negative x. So I'm going to take negative x times x, which is negative x squared. And I'm going to take negative x times negative 3. Careful. Positive 3x. Yep. What do I do from here?
Subtract.
We're going to subtract. When you're doing the subtracting, what do we need to do?
Change the signs on the bottom.
Yep. So this turns to addition. This turns to subtraction. What happens to the x squareds? They cancel. What's 0 minus 3? Negative 3x. What do I do next? Yep, bring down the negative 4. Now I do the process over again. How can I turn x into negative 3x? What's it missing?
Multiply by negative 3.
Negative 3. Yep. What do I do with that negative 3?
Multiply it by negative 3.
Negative 3 times x is
3x.
negative 3x. What's negative 3 times negative 3?
9.
Positive 9. Good. What do I do from here? Subtract, change signs. Yep. What happens to the 3x? Cancels. What's negative 4 minus 9? Negative 13. What do I do now? Do I have anything left to drop? No. What's this negative 13? It's the remainder. Is that my answer? No, that's the remainder. Okay, how do I write my answer?
Negative 13, and then x minus 3 on top.
Yes, but first we want this stuff first also. Okay, so we want 2x cubed minus x minus 3 and then plus negative 13. What is it over?
X minus 3.
Where did you get the x minus 3 from?
What we divided by.
It's what we divided by. Okay, so don't forget all this stuff that you have up here, that is a part of your answer. Okay, that remainder is just what we have left over in our problem. Okay? So notice in the long division process, you are just doing the same thing over and over and over again until you have nothing left to drop and you get your remainder. Okay? What you're writing on the top is what is a part of your answer. Okay? When you write your remainder, it's always your remainder over what you divided by. Today we're going to learn a simpler version of long division called synthetic division. Okay? We are going to do the same exact problem but with synthetic division. Okay, so with synthetic division, we are going to focus on, so I'm going to rewrite how we would. If we had 2x cubed minus 7x squared plus 0x minus 4 divided by x minus 3. Okay. If we solve this using synthetic division always starts with a 0. What is a 0?
What do you mean by zero?
Not the number 0, so it starts with the 0 of the function. So if I told you, find the 0 of what we're dividing by. Okay, what that means, we talked about this a couple chapters ago, we would take x minus 3, set that equal to 0 to find its 0. Okay, how would I solve that for x? I would add 3, so I would get x equals 3. So 3 is my 0 that I'm using for synthetic division. Okay? With synthetic division, the only other thing we care about are these numbers provided. Okay? So in there, I'm going to put 2, -7, 0, and -4. Okay? I took each number and put it across the board next to my 0. Okay? Now we can start our synthetic division. Okay? Synthetic division is very similar to long division. Okay, we're going to start it off by dropping this 2. So I'm going to drop that 2. From here, I'm going to take 3. 3 times 2. What's 3 times 2? 6. Now what's a little different, in long division we were subtracting, right? In synthetic division, we are going to add these terms. So I'm going to take -7 plus 6. What's -7 plus 6? -1. Okay. Now I'm going to do that whole process over again until I get my remainder. Okay. So I'm going to take 3 times -1, which is -3. What do I do with 0 and -3? I'm going to add them together. What's 0 plus a -3? -3. Keep going. I'm going to take 3 times -3, which is -9. What do I do with -4 and -9? Add them. What's -4 plus a -9? -13. I want you to box that number. Why do you think I'm having you box that number? That's the remainder. Okay? Now, can I just leave this as my answer? No. How did we write our answers in long division? What was involved? Like x's and exponents, right? So, here's the trick to figure out what x you are going to start with. Okay? What was my degree of the first one? 3, right? Highest exponent was 3. We want 1 degree lower than that. What's 1 degree lower than 3? 2. So my answer is going to be, I'm going to put x squared and then x. Okay? So we picked 3 was our highest degree to start with. We're going 1 degree lower than that. Okay? So my answer is going to be written as 2x squared minus x minus 3. What do I do with this remainder? Right. Plus a -13 over, what did we originally divide by at the beginning? X minus 3. What do you notice between what we just got to what we had before? It's the same thing. Okay, so long division and synthetic division, in the end, get the same answer. Which one was easier? The synthetic division was easier, right? Okay. With long division, what was nice? Like, what's a nice remainder? 0, right? So if we got 0 here, would we have a remainder? No. Okay, it would just be this part right here is your answer. Okay? Good question. Okay. What would normally go inside the box? Which one? That first one, right? So we have 3x cubed. What do I need to watch out for?
The degree.
Okay, what's our degree?
3.
3. So we have x cubed. What should come after x cubed?
X squared.
X squared, and then x, and then a number, right? Okay, do we have an x squared? No, so what do I do?
0x.
Yep, plus 0x squared. Do we have an x?
No. Yep.
Yes, so I just put minus 5x. Do we have a number?
Yep.
Yep, 10. What goes on the outside?
X minus
X minus 1. Now, the directions tell us to use synthetic division. So we need to set up our synthetic division. How do we set that up? Remember, we start with a box. What goes inside that box?
the 0 of x minus 1.
The 0 of x minus 1. So what does that mean?
You have to do x minus 1 equals 0.
X minus 1 equals 0. So how do I solve that?
Add 1.
Plus 1. So I get x equals 1. So 1 goes in my box here. What is a little trick? How can you get that 0 quicker?
It's usually just the number, different sign.
It's opposite, right? So we started with the negative 1 here, but what did we put in our box? A positive 1. So if you didn't want to do all that work, just remember that trick is there. Okay? We have our 0 in the box. Okay? How do I get all the numbers across the board? How do I get my top numbers?
It's all of x.
They come from the coefficients of our dividend. Okay, so we have 3. What's after 3?
0.
0. Keep going.
5.
Negative 5 and 10. Now, can we start our synthetic division process? Yes. What do we need to do first to get it started?
Drop down 3.
Drop down the 3. What's next?
Multiply it by 1.
Yep. Let's go through this slow. We take 1 times 3, which is 3. What do I do with 0 and 3?
Add them.
Add them together. What's 0 plus 3? 3. What do I do now?
Multiply 3 by 1.
Do you agree it's the same process over and over and over again?
Yes.
Okay. So 1 times 3 is 3. What do I do with negative 5 and 3?
Add them.
Add. What's negative 5 plus 3?
Negative 2.
Negative 2. Am I done?
No.
No. Keep going. What's 1 times negative 2? Negative 2. And then I add what's 10 plus a negative 2? 8. Okay. What do I want you to do with that 8?
Box it.
Put it in a box. Why do I want you to put it in a box?
That's right.
That's your remainder. Okay. Am I done?
No.
No, we need to write our answer. Okay. How do I know how many x's we're going to have for our highest degree?
1 less than 3.
What was the degree at the beginning?
3.
3. So we want 1 less than that.
Yeah. X squared.
So our degree is going to be squared. So our answer is going to be 3x squared. What's next?
Plus 3x
Plus 3x
minus 2.
minus 2.
8 over plus 8 over x minus 1.
Good. Plus 8 over x minus 1. Now, if we did long division, should we have got the same answer?
Yeah.
Yes. Good.
I'm confused on the
So, when we're starting synthetic division, remember we start with this little box. What goes inside that box?
the 0.
The 0, right? It's coming from this. Well, we have a positive 2 here,
To be negative.
so it needs to be a negative 2. And again, if you weren't sure, you take x plus 2, set that equal to 0
Is it always just the opposite?
to solve. Yes. Yep.
Oh,
Okay. How do I get my numbers for the top of my synthetic division?
you use the variables and then
I use the variables. First of all, are we A-okay? Do we need zeros?
no.
We don't need zeros. Yep. So what numbers am I putting across? Go ahead.
1, 8, 12, 5.
1, 8, 12, 5. If there was a negative in front of here, can I still put 12?
Yeah. I mean negative.
It would have to be a negative 12. Okay, keep that in mind. Can I start synthetic division? Yes. What do I do first? Drop down the 1. So I take 1 times negative 2. Negative 2. What's 8 plus a negative 2?
6.
6. Start the process over again. What's 6 times negative 2?
Negative 12.
Negative 12. What's 12 plus a negative 12?
0.
0. Negative 2 times 0.
0.
0. What's 5 plus 0?
5.
5. What should I do?
Box it.
Box the 5. Am I done?
No.
No, we need to write our answer. First, we have to figure out what our degree is going to be. What was it at the beginning? 3. So what do I need at the end?
1 less.
1 less, so it would be 2. So I have x squared. What's next?
Plus 6x.
Plus 6x. What do I do with this 0?
Skip it.
I just leave it out, right? How do I write this 5?
Plus 5 over x plus 2.
Right, why does that have to go over x plus 2?
It's the remainder.
It's the remainder. So whatever we have left over is always over the what we divided by. 5A, what? I'm just going to go straight into synthetic division. What's going to go inside the box if I have x minus 4? Positive 4, yep. What are going to be my numbers across the board?
1,
When you're putting the numbers across the board, what do you have to be careful with?
signs.
Yes,
Plus the remainder.
yes, and if we need to add zeros or not.
Oh.
Okay, did we need to add any zeros in this case? Nope, so we're good. We can start synthetic division. What do I do first?
Drop the 1.
Yep,
Times it by 4.
good. 1 times 4 is 4, so then I add these together. Negative 10 plus 4 is negative 6. 4 times negative 6 is negative 24. Add those together, I get 4. 4 times 4 is 16. Add those together, I get 0. What do I want you to do? Box the 0. Why is it nice when we have 0?
Because that means that's the remainder. No remainder.
There's no remainder, okay? Can I leave my answer like this?
No.
I gotta write my answer. What was my degree at the beginning?
3.
It was 3. So my degree for this should be 2. So what's my answer?
X squared minus 6x plus 4.
Yep. And then we don't have a remainder, so we don't need to worry about a fraction at the end.
If we put it, is it wrong? Like if we put 0 over x minus 4.
So if it was 0 over x plus 4, or minus 4, what is anything divided by 0?
0.
0. So that's why we wouldn't need that. Okay. Last one, 5B. I have x plus 5, so what goes in my box?
Negative 5.
Negative 5. It's always the opposite. What are my numbers across the board?
2, 9,
Negative
negative 2, 6, and
2, 6, negative 40. Did we have to worry about any zeros? Nope. So we can start synthetic division by bringing down the 2. What's 2 times negative 5? Yep. Add those together. What do I get?
negative 1.
Okay. Keep doing the same process over and over again. What's negative 5 times negative 1? 5. Add those together. I get
3.
3. What's negative 5 times 3?
Negative 15.
Yep. Add those together. I get
Negative 9.
good. Negative 9 times negative 5.
45.
Good. Should be positive 45. Add those together. I get
5.
5. What should I do with that?
Box it.
How do I know that's my remainder?
This last one.
Because I can't go any farther, right? Cool. Now we need to write our answer. What was my degree at the beginning?
4.
4. So what's my degree here?
X cubed
Yep. So I have 2x cubed. Keep going.
minus
Yep.
4 plus 3x.
Good.
Minus 9 plus 5 plus 5.
Good. Plus 5 over x plus 5. Where's that x plus 5 come from?
The original
Yep.
division problem.
Good. All right.